Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, man, I was taking a little break, waiting for Keith to get back in the building. All right, here we go. Yeah, tonight's topic, y'all, we're building on multiple things, but now we're about to get back into the treaty handbook and go into some other sciences. Peace. Yeah, so I was gonna go back into the treaty handbook and then go into the certification thing or whatever. Okay, here you go. Okay, okay. All right, all right. We're in the building. We're in the building. Keith Little, faith-based organization.
This actually looks pretty good, doesn't it, man?
That's what's
I'm
up.
sitting right, and look what it does, folks. I
Put
bear
you,
my own cross. I bear my
and
own cross and all that encompasses me around,
and
and I pray to my heavenly Father at all times.
Pete, right? We got the pyramid, the pinnacle above the head, pineal chakra, all seeing eye. Yeah, man.
You know, I spent a long time thinking about this sigil, you know, and the bearing of the cross. If we look at this cross, we're going to see some Greek language in here, and that is the alpha as the A, the peak, and then the omega, and then the phi, which is the circle with a dash in it. So the post going straight up and down is my post, and the phi is what? You have the alpha, the omega, which is the Father and the Son. So the phi is the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is my post in life and the cross that I bear. And I'm telling you what, brothers and sisters, the key of the house of David has been laid upon my shoulders so I can shut and no one can open, and I can open and no one can shut. And you do it with God's word.
Yeah, that was real deep. The other night you broke that down, that verse, and then applied it to what you was building on, and I was like, wow, yo.
See, well, and when you realize how much all of their codes are built on the same thing, they apply the same principles. All you have to do is be able to comprehend the like wording. Like Isaiah 22:22, what I just said. The key of the house of David shall be laid upon his shoulder, and he can shut and no one can open, and he can open and no one can close. So, and that's talking about closing that minor account so nobody can open it again, because that's been in custody under appointment, and now it's being transferred under fiduciary assignment to the proper trustee, the primary account. Now everything's got to go through the United States on that, first and foremost. There's your diplomatic notice. That's as simple as a birth certificate gets, or any certificate for that. All those certificates that they issue, those are certificates of title. And in your transfer, your banker's acceptance, you're going to transfer that. You're going to put your value on there, and that's what's going to fund your trust that you're going to create out of the same document by converting it to a certificate of trust. That's that merging and reorganizing the titles under a new name. You're going to name the new trust through the merger. Make its assignments. You're going to construct the trust. You're going to design the trust. Remember what I told you the other night about public trust? The way it's set up now, it's impossible to operate that public trust on a whole. It has to be done individually, one man at a time.
So I was trying to tell, I was trying to say earlier, damn, that shit was spicy. About how we got to get ourselves on an international level before, you know, a lot of this stuff can even go through. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I was just thinking like you can't control the straw man as the straw man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't know how we're gonna do that.
You got to enforce your knowledge of knowing how it operates. That's it. And let them operate it. None my business. Not me. NAME. Not me. Not me. Nate, think about it, brother. NAME. A man's yay is his yay and his nay is his nay. Nay me. Name. Nay me. Nay me. No contendere. I have no contest with you. I'm not at war with you. I come in peace. I am in peace. I will leave in peace. We will leave in peace.
Are you Elijah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump back in this treaty handbook and see what they're talking about with the okay, now it says okay declarations, because now I'm thinking okay, we have to add a declaration with this, and I guess that's going to be our annex
Right. You're going to make a will.
of amendment.
Yeah, your declaration is going to be your will. That's your living will we were talking about. That's where you put that.
So we got to attach that whole will to the instrument of full powers.
No, you're just stating that you have a living will, and this is where it extends from.
Oh, you're going to reference it.
Yeah, you're gonna represent the chain of title.
Okay.
See, it's not my will; it's his will, and he gave me title to the will through this organization. I have the same will because it was his will that he granted me. I'm not operating under my will. That would be facetious. And see, they have that objections to declarations, and that's why I say there shouldn't be any objections. If you're perfecting it or creating a more perfect union or coming as near as may be, then they can't object because they've already put something out there that you've been able to affect to a better degree. You've been able to make improvements upon. Now you have a vested interest.
Okay.
You like that, don't you? See, and this is that part about doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, I definitely want my brothers and sisters looking out for me. So in the same thing, I got to look out for my brothers and sisters and let them know, hey, wait a minute, I see an improvement here. Wouldn't you like to be treated better? Well, yeah, anybody can say, yeah. Well, then wouldn't you agree that this would be better? It would go against reason.
I'm trying to tell to my brothers, man, and I'd be like, yo, who does that? How many of your brothers call you and be like, yo, bro, I got some information that can help you, you know, get some things in order for you and your family. And, you know, I'm not some salesman. I'm not hitting you up like, yo, bro, it only costs you $99.99 and just just sign right here. Nah, man, I ain't no con artist. I'm trying to help my brothers. Like, what the fuck? Hello.
Yeah. My a lot of my friends are the same way. They don't necessarily think I'm a lunatic, but they're stuck in the thing where, and I got to admit, brother, because I'm in a different position. I have no one that depends upon me, including my companion. My companion is still, like I said, she's a retiree of a public education system. She's already taken care of. Okay. I'm just trying to correct the record so we can set up a private estate for her heirs. She has nothing to do with that, really, you know, except for what she's brought into life so far.
Right.
So when it comes to this, I have no dependents. And so I have to realize that there are other people that have children and families and stuff that are already caught up in jobs and lifestyles that they can't just up and quit everything like I did. You know, I'm a hillbilly born on the muddy Mississippi with mud squishing between my toes, and I still walk around barefoot every day. 54 years old. I'm a kid at heart, and I love the outdoors. There's nothing that's going to restrict me to that. And every time I sit in one of these boxes, it just irks me. It really does. But you know, I realize that's a part of lifestyle that people have developed, and that's what these communities are, a bunch of boxes that people get used to. Once you get used to them, it's hard to come out of her. It's hard to go back out in nature to learn how to live by nature.
Right. Absolutely.
Show you a little bit about my nature. Let me have some screen share for a few. I'll show you something. Pull it up here. Okay, where we at? My entire screen. Oops, I forgot. I got to include that. Okay. Try this again. A tab. There we go. Okay, you got my screen?
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I'm a man of nature. I make my own. This is called an ulu. It's for scraping hides. I do my own raccoon.
Poor little fella, man. Yeah, he laid that in. Yeah, that's fucked up.
But I also, you know, like my outdoors. You know, I'm a mountain man. I love the mountains, and whenever I get a chance to go out to the woods, I love it. And so here we have
Electric foods.
I indulge in as many mushrooms as I can.
Mushroom. Yeah.
And I'll just move through these real quick because I've got so many, brother. I've got a lot of experience in these shrooms. And this is the true essence of knowledge, is being able to go out there and involve yourself in nature and know how to flourish without grocery stores and farms and agriculture.
Dr. Sabi taught about the mushroom being electric food.
Yep, it's a positive. Yep. It gets your chemical reactions going and moves it attempts to balance your scales in regards to your endocrine system and your glands and all of those.
Okay.
Hormones.
Right. So that'll probably help with like thyroid problems and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's
Have certain issues. Yeah.
when you get out there and you start eating the right things, it's like people drink this tap water and stuff, even though they know it's got fluoride in it and they know it's H2O. Well, even if it didn't have fluoride in it, knowing that it's H2O, there's further knowledge that we find that if you are eating fruits and vegetables, those fruits and vegetables, the water content in them is known as H3O2, which is a different hydrogen oxygen molecule. It's shaped differently, and what happens is your body absorbs it automatically. Okay, whereas H2O, your body actually has to expend energy to convert it to H3O2 in order to then absorb it. So your fruits and vegetables are being consumed at no cost of energy, as opposed to drinking water when you're told you got to have at least a liter of water a day, which is bullshit. Your body can absorb a liter of water through its skin simply by soaking in it. So it's important to realize there's so much information out there in regards to observing nature and what it's really about that we really need to start paying attention to, as well as these laws and everything. People fail to realize that it's the law of nature and nature's God. That's where the concept of God comes, is from how we observe our nature. You know, when people think about these storms and all the lightning, that's where we get our concept of Thor, you know, the thunder god and this and that. It's all based upon our natural elements.
Right. I was going through that with a brother last night. We were building on that, and he was like, "Well, what is nature?" He's like, "Nature is feminine." And I went through it. I thought about it, and then I looked up the definition of nature. It said, let me pull it up again. But it says something like, beyond, like, phenomenons and all of that. But it said, like, beyond humans, like something though, like as if like it didn't pertain to humans. And I'm like, so what are you trying to say? Humans are not natural or something, like?
Yeah, it's.
But I'm gonna show you what I was saying. Where I was going into that.
There's a knife I made.
Mm.
Hand carved curved grip handle. Everything. Recluse spider. That's a bone right there.
All right. It said nature, the phenomena of the physical world collectively, including plants, animals, the landscape, and other features and products of the earth, as opposed to humans and human creations.
Yeah, and see, I'm
So,
not a human. I'm a wild man.
so I was like, okay, so now, in one sense, I said, okay, well, and you know what though, if you get like, if you get real deep with it, that's, because my understanding is that, see, as man, because man, you go into the etymology of man means mind or intelligence. So that's why I say man is a universe, because the whole universe is mental. As Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. So the whole universe is mental, and the thoughts that you think are the thoughts that come into your environment. So man being mental, or being the conscious mind, he has the force over nature. He has the force to he has the ability to manipulate the forces of nature. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I seen this. I was watching the Discovery Channel, or was it the Nature Channel, or whatever, and they were showing this like this indigenous tribe, and how they had like cut the bark. They shaved the bark off of this tree, and then they went and they was started washing the bark in the water, like like how you like wash clothes. They start rinsing the bark in the water, and then like they let it sit, and then the stench from the water the stench from the bark they put in the water, it sent this, some kind of stench up in the sky, and then they made it start raining. I was like, yo, what? And like they do this literally, like they do this as a practice. Like it wasn't no just, oh, it just happened to happen. No, like they literally do this as a practice. So so um then when it started raining, and I'm just like, yo, wow, see, that's crazy. Like they literally, were able to make it rain. Like they literally were able to manipulate the forces of nature or the elements of nature to make these things happen. So that's why I say man is a God force in nature because of his ability to master the elements with the mind. You know what I mean?
It's like taking certain plants and making a mix so they can put it in the water, and then it puts the fish to sleep.
Mm,
And
mm,
they float to the surface, and that's how they
yeah,
fish. They know the chemical elements of nature that interact certain ways.
right.
Like we know
Just,
today,
just like
we can take sand, moss, coal, or charcoal, carbon charcoal, and use it to create a water filter that'll make any water safe to drink.
mm, mm,
Just by using natural elements. We don't need a chemical lab to clean water. We don't need fluoride to take out all the other stuff while the fluoride poisons us.
mm. Mm.
He's outside with his bone.
Yeah.
Okay, just want you to know that. Because he was inside.
Okay.
I tried to steal the bone away, but he outsmarted me.
So all right, yeah. So let me pull this handbook back up here. All right, oh, hold on, let me share it. Oh, no, he looking like, where is it at? Hold on. I don't see nothing up there.
There we go.
All right, so yeah, so on declarations, uh, when they go into declarations, I'm gonna read on. I'm gonna click on that one second. Yeah, light's just gonna go out here. All right, so okay. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read here. I'm gonna start playing it on that thing here.
Declarations. See the summary of practice, paras. Paras 217 to 220. 3.6.1 Interpretative Declarations. A state may make a declaration about its understanding of a matter contained in, or the interpretation of a particular provision in a treaty. Interpretative declarations of this kind, unlike reservations, do not purport to exclude or modify the legal effects of a treaty. The purpose of an interpretative declaration is to clarify the meaning of certain provisions or of the entire treaty.
Pause. All right, so that's to say when we by choice of law pick and choose which provisions we want to adhere to, that's what we put in the declaration, basically.
Well, it's like we placed that amendment on there without commercial purpose. That's an interpretive declaration. And so we can put a note here under interpretive declarations without commercial use or without commercial purpose, and clarify that it is never our intent to be preemptively involved in commerce, for that is a self-governing decision to be initiated upon each event.
So, but this declaration is like a separate document, though, right?
Well, it would be on an annexed sheet of declarations below, or titled declarations. This is where you're going to put your living will, a real short statement of living will by reason and logic, da 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 da. However you end up wording it.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Let me.
Some treaties specifically provide for interpretative declarations. For example, when signing, ratifying, or acceding to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982, a state may make declarations with a view to harmonizing its laws and regulations with the provisions of that convention, provided that such declarations or statements do not purport to exclude or modify the legal effect of the provisions of the convention in their application to that state. 3.
Right. So that's to say, like our amendments don't change their provisions, but it just makes it.
It excludes it from being applicable to us.
Right.
3.6.2 Optional and mandatory declarations. Treaties may provide for states to make optional and/or mandatory declarations. These declarations are legally binding on the declarants. Optional declarations. Many human rights treaties provide for states to make optional declarations that are legally binding upon them. In most cases, these declarations relate to the competence of human rights commissions or committees. See Section 4.3. See example, Article 41 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, 1966. A state party to the present covenant may at any time declare under this article that it recognizes the competence of the committee to receive and consider communications to the effect that a state party claims that another state party is not fulfilling its obligations under the present covenant. Mandatory declarations, where a treaty requires states becoming party to it to make a mandatory declaration, the Secretary General, as depositary, seeks to ensure that they make such declarations. Participating in multilateral treaties. 3. 17. Some disarmament and human rights treaties provide for mandatory
So in the above statement, they're saying that the Secretary General, basically, it's mandatory, mandatory declarations where a treaty requires a state becoming a party to it to make mandatory declaration. The Secretary General, as depository, seeks to ensure that they make such declarations. So in other words, they're gonna require that, basically. The Secretary General is gonna require that declaration along with your instruments.
Right. If where a treaty requires it. If
Okay.
the treaty doesn't require it, then the state can't require it.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, good, all right.
Declarations as, for example, Article 3 of the Convention on the Prohibition of the Development, Production, Stockpiling, and Use of Chemical Weapons, and on the Destruction, 1992. Article 3.2 of the Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict, 2000, provides. Each state party shall deposit a binding declaration upon ratification of or accession to this protocol that sets forth the minimum age at which it will permit voluntary recruitment into its national armed forces, and a description of the safeguards that it has adopted to ensure that such recruitment is not forced or coerced.
Yeah.
Mandatory declarations also.
That's what I was saying. I need to read through that treaty to make sure that they don't be trying to sign me up for no damn military shit. Like, hold up, wait a minute.
And this is where we clarify it's for the protections, for the intent of the protections of these treaties, and not for the use of our own military forces, as we are not armed. We follow our armorial bearings. See, that Second Amendment rights got everything backwards for everybody. They think they got a right to bear arms, when in fact it's your right to your armorial bearing. They twisted everything and got everybody believing they have a right to bring a weapon up against another man, when no, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. We're supposed to turn the other cheek.
See, now that right there, you know,
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
right. I gotta take that with a grain of salt because you know, it's like if somebody come up to you and punch you in your face.
It might have been an accident.
Nah,
You do it a second time, it might be a coincidence, but I ain't gonna let it be a third time. Believe you me. This is the same principle in court. Third time's a charm, buddy.
You can't let it be a first time because you know shit. I see my body as a temple of God, and him who defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to defile my temple, man. Fuck all that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Also appear in some treaties on the law of the sea. For example, when an international organization signs the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982, unclose, or the Agreement for the Implementation of the Provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea of the 10th of December 1982 relating to the conservation and management of straddling fish stocks and highly migratory fish stocks, 1995 Agreement, it must make a declaration specifying the matters governed by unclose in respect of which the organization's member states have conferred competence on the organization, and the nature and extent of that competence. The states conferring such competence must be signatories to unclose. Where an international organization has competence over all matters governed by the 1995 agreement, it must make a declaration to that effect upon signature or accession, and its member states may not become states parties to the 1995 agreement except in respect of any of their territories for which the international organization has no responsibility. 3.6.3 Time for formulating declarations. Declarations are usually deposited at the time of signature or at the time of deposit of the instrument of ratification, acceptance, approval, or accession. Sometimes, a declaration may be lodged subsequently.
So meaning you can send it in afterwards. But
right. And remember, this is an accession, okay? And it's telling you that a developing nation is a developing nation at all times, and it can always break down and restructure. This is another one of the basic elements of contracting is that either party at any time can withdraw from the contract for any reason, even if it merely be just posing that it might seem detrimental to them at some time in the future. One could also foresee that they might find another way that would propel them farther, faster, and more efficiently in a different way by using a different system. So therefore, we can quit that contract as well, simply because we find something better. Not that there's anything wrong with this contract, but we find something better to form a more perfect union. Always looking for something better. Everybody is. Nobody can disqualify the fact that if you had a $20,000 a year job and all of a sudden a $60,000 a year job came along, you would not quit that $20,000 a year job and take that $60,000 a year job. 99% of people are going to say, yeah, I will.
yeah.
Always looking for something better. No matter what lifestyle you got, you're always looking for something better.
3.6.4 Form of declarations. Since an interpretative declaration does not have a legal effect similar to that of a reservation, it need not be signed by a formal authority as long as it clearly emanates from the state concerned. Nevertheless, Such a declaration should preferably be signed by the head of state, head of government, or Minister for Foreign Affairs, or a person having full powers for that purpose issued by one of the above authorities. This practice avoids complications in the event of a doubt whether the declaration in fact constitutes a reservation. Optional and mandatory declarations impose legal obligations on the declarant and therefore must be signed by the head of state, head of government, or Minister for Foreign Affairs, or by a person having full powers for that purpose issued by one of the above authorities. 3.6.5 Notification of declarations by...
So by that, by that,
Pardon
by
for a second. Peace, peace,
Thanks a lot.
peace, King. Peace.
Can't hear you.
Hold on 1 second, G.
Disconnection.
Can't hear you.
Kevin.
Yeah, peace, peace.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Yeah, pardon me. I missed your call. I was doing my meditation last night, and I was with my daughter. One of my daughters, she was sleeping right next to me, so I couldn't even move.
Nah, yeah, it's all good, G. It's all good, G.
So I just bent down.
Yeah, I was just calling you as your brother, man, and share some good information with you, man. You know what I'm saying, pertaining to what I was
Yeah.
speaking about and all of that. You will you be available like in a few hours or so? Because I'm doing a show right now, I'm doing a live right now, but I'm
Stay cutting your shit.
say again.
I said, I stay cutting your shit.
Oh,
I just-
nah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But that's the wave though. That's the frequency. But yeah. What is bonded? But I'm definitely going back to you in a few hours, and I'll definitely get it in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hit you too late.
Huh?
I ain't gonna hit you too late, but I'll see if you're still up.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what's happening and shit. Just hit me if I'm available. I'm gonna get you. Somebody trying to Uber me out to a spot or whatever. So I'm gonna see what's going on with that. But yeah, if I'm up, I'll definitely answer you.
All right, no doubt. Yeah, and in the meantime too, if you get a chance, you want to check the video, that'll kind of break down a lot of what I was what I was building on. You know what I mean?
Which one?
Actually, I'm gonna send you some links actually, and I'm gonna send you the links. All right, G.
I
Peace.
love you, dog.
All right, peace to the God. Yes, sir. You too, G. Peace. Peace. Pardon.
okay. So on form of declarations, we see that it says since an interpretive declaration does not have a legal effect, and it says similar to that of a reservation.
Right.
It's telling us that it does have a legal effect. But then it says down under the optional and mandatory declarations, it says impose legal obligations on the declarant. See, that's why we make that statement without commercial purposes. We're not imposing legal obligations. It may have legal effects. We admit and confess that it may eventually end up with legal effects, where we might have to initiate some commercial transactions against any kind of detriment. But that's the only time we would use it. Otherwise, if it's beneficial, it need not be contract or have liability or indemnification. So our declarations, if we're going to do them without that commercial purpose, are interpretive declarations only.
Okay.
By the depositary. The Secretary General. 3.6.5 Notification of declarations by the depositary. The Secretary General, as depositary, reviews all declarations to treaties that prohibit reservations to ensure that they are prima facie not reservations. See the discussion on prohibited reservations in section 3.5.5. Where a treaty is silent on or authorizes reservations, the Secretary General makes no determination about the legal status of 3. Participating in multilateral treaties. 18. Declarations relating to that treaty. The Secretary General simply communicates the text of the declaration to all states concerned by depositary notification, including by email, allowing those states to draw their own legal conclusions as to its status.
Okay, so once we send it to Secretary General, they just send the other states or countries
that are involved in the treaties and stuff that you mentioned and see if they're willing to join you in under those terms and conditions of that interpretive declaration.
Right. And it only takes like 3 of them to agree, right? That kind of brings us in.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 or more gathered.
3.6.6 Objections to declarations. Objections to declarations, where the treaty is silent on reservations. States sometimes object to declarations relating to a treaty that is silent on reservations. The Secretary General, as depositary, circulates any such objection. For example, the Federal Republic of Germany made declarations to certain treaties with the effect of extending the provisions of those treaties to West Berlin. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics objected to these declarations. See example, Notes 3 and 4 to the Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification techniques. 1976. In multilateral treaties deposited with the Secretary General. SD Leg SCR.E 19, Volume II, Part 1, Chapter XXVI.1. Objections generally focus on whether the statement is merely an interpretative declaration, or is in fact a true reservation sufficient to modify the legal effects of the treaty. If the objecting state concludes that the declaration is
all right, so hold on. So basically, if we kind of put our amendments in at first, that's why I was saying I wanted to just like kind of get in the door first and then make amendments after. Because they're saying if you send in your document with amendments, that may be considered a reservation because you are not like wanting to change the law, but wanting them to accede to your provisions. You know what I'm saying? So they would maybe consider that a reservation.
Right, and that's why we don't make we might be able to make some amendments, but you notice I don't talk too much about amendments. It's more about the declaration and ratification of the true facts, and that's what we're doing, is making it a interpretive declaration of the true facts.
Is a reservation and or incompatible with the object and purpose of the treaty, the objecting state may prevent the treaty from entering into force between itself and the reserving state. However, if the objecting state intends this result, it should specify it in the objection. See example, the objection by a state to a declaration made by another state upon its accession to the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, 1984. Depositary Notification, C.N.910.1999. Treatise 13. The government of Name of State notes that the declaration made by Name of State, in fact constitutes a reservation, since it is aimed at precluding or modifying the legal effect of certain provisions of the treaty. A reservation which consists in a general reference to domestic law without specifying its contents does not clearly indicate to the other parties to what extent the state which issued the reservation commits itself when acceding to the convention.
So they're saying that if you're putting domestic laws such as statutes and things like that in your declaration, then it may be considered a reservation. But if you're just like all in line with international law and in line with
improving and perfecting the union,
everything is good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't say under the House of Little we declare the right to take the neighbor's dog if it gets loud in the middle of the night. We can't do that kind of stuff,
Yeah, making up crazy stuff like all kinds of just.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, we can't just make up any business. Let's just follow the rules. So we can let's just get
reason and logic. If the dog gets loud at night, get yourself some damn earmuffs or something. Move away. Don't live so close. Something. There are other solutions than war.
Convention. The government of name of state considers the reservation of name of state incompatible with the objective and purpose of the treaty, in respect of which the provisions relating to the right of victims of acts of torture to obtain redress and compensation, which ensure the effectiveness and tangible realization of obligations under the convention, are essential, and consequently lodges an objection to the reservation entered by name of state regarding Article 14, Paragraph 1. This objection does not prevent the entry into force of the convention between name of state and name of state. An objecting state sometimes requests that the declarant clarify its intention. In such a situation, if the declarant agrees, state F accept.
Well, money.
18. Declarations relating to that treaty. The Secretary General simply communicates the text of the declaration to all states concerned. 18. Declarations relating to that treaty. 3 points. Objections. State some. Objections. C. The government of 4 key events in a multilateral treaty.
Oh,
4
God.
key. The government of.
Yeah,
See,
sorry, man.
example,
Sorry,
the
man. This
objection.
thing got all out of
The
control,
government
man.
of net.
Look at this. That's why I should have been good. What was it? Sorry, man.
Of the name of state, notes that the declaration made by name of state in fact constitutes a reservation, since it is aimed at precluding or modifying the legal effect of certain provisions of the treaty. A reservation which consists in a.
I gotta skip down there. But this, I'm gonna just read this off. This bottom part says, an objective state sometimes requests that a declarant clarifies its intention. Therefore, I guess like a letter of intent. In such a situation, if the declarant agrees that it has formulated a reservation, it may either withdraw its reservation or confirm that its statement is only a declaration. So yes, in other words, we like, I guess, whatever we say in the thing, like, yo, this is only a declaration, it's just what I declare, you know what I mean? It's not a reservation. I'm not trying to wait a whole year for y'all to give me a response. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Word.
Exactly.
All right, so this goes into something else. Okay, that they break down I guess the structure of multilateral treaties and stuff like that. I ain't really trying to go into all of that. Entry into force. Okay, yeah, they talk about the entry into force, definitive entry into force. Yeah, they talk about definitive signatures. Yeah, I think me and King went through this before. Entry into force of a state, provision, entry into force. I'm gonna go back up to the table of content. If it's something that you wanna, oh yeah, we were supposed to go to the.
Yeah, send me that link.
Oh yeah, you don't have this guy?
I don't have it.
How you of all people ain't got this right here? I probably didn't send this in your whatchamacallit because I figured you already had it. In the email. All right, I'm about to send it to you right now. Well, matter of fact, you could download it. Matter of fact, go on the United Nations Treaty Collection website and scroll down to their footer, and it's gonna be in that footer. It's gonna be the treaty handbook and the final clauses handbook. And like I was saying before, the treaty handbook is like showing us how to draft our documents and everything like that, how to structure our instruments. And the final clauses handbook is like kind of like their handbook that shows them like the Office of Legal Affairs and the Secretary General and all that, what they have to do with all the documents and their protocols and all that. So actually, that's good for us to read too, so we can know what it is that they're supposed to do, so that we can make sure that they do it. You know what I mean?
Where'd you say that was? United Nations Treaty Series.
No, collections, treaty collections.
Yeah, and United Nations Treaty Collections, and on that page you've got depository of treaties,
right,
registration of publication treaties.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page to their footer. To their footer, you're gonna see quick links. like 2 things down under quick links.
Oh, treaty. I got it. Treaty
Yeah,
handbook. Got it.
And then also that final clauses handbook under that. Bless. You know what I mean? The final clause under that, they're gonna have you know, that's the handbook for them. You know what I mean?
Got them. And
Yeah,
English.
yeah. And then they say download the English PDF. Right.
All right. I got them. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because I thought like because when I went on there, I was doing research and I came across that, and then I went on there and I said, oh, okay, Keith didn't talk about this because I know you broke down the UPU and they had
Yeah.
the.
Well, I got the United Nations Treaty Series up on those links and stuff that I did in the Master Trust thing, but I never, like I said, I don't go real deep into a lot of these stuff because I've got a basic understanding already, and this is all this research just confirming what I already know.
Okay.
And that's,
Right.
you know,
Right.
so technically I had it, I just hadn't looked deep enough.
Right. And I was thinking because the instrument of full powers, because they were saying that that's mandatory before your instrument of accession, you got to have the instrument of full powers. So I was like,
Yeah, that's durable power of attorney in fact and all that.
right.
And again, you can do the same thing. You can just do it. You could do, just like I said earlier, you can make a book. And just like anything else, it's going to have a title, trust title. In that book, it's going to have who the parties are. And then it's going to have a table of contents. And that table of contents can be all of your annexes on different levels. Like here, it would be the treaty, the handbook, or whatever you're going to incorporate. Your declaration, your interpretive declaration, your statement of your living will, specific powers of attorney that are assigned to a counsel, so that you show that you have other parties involved. You have specific powers of attorney assigned to a counsel to help you with the accounting. You have another specific powers of attorney assigned to counsel to help you with the legal, paralegal research work, which could even be an attorney, but you're hiring specific for paralegal research. That's it. So you can hire attorneys in different capacities, but you know how to do it by assignment because you are the contracting party.
Yeah. I think King was talking about that, like how like you assign them, you know, under a certain, you know, like to do a certain thing, not to like represent you or anything like that, but just to you know, just to how do you say hand over the information, get the information into evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, present the evidence. Basically, we present the evidence, not you, but the evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I guess in that sense, they're not like having like power of attorney over you. They're just, you know, hired as a private attorney to handle, you know, the paperwork or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, listen, brother, we're at another hour, and I got to spend some time with my companion.
Yes, sir.
But again, great session. Again, you know what you're talking about. You get it, and I anticipate to continue working with you and see a success here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So I guess I'll hit you later on the book. We'll make another time. You know, we can meet up or whatever. And yeah. All right. Cool. I'll go through the handbook too and see what else we need to add on, or you know. All right. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your attendance, man. You know, always an honor. And you know, until next time, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, man. That was peace. That was peace. That was peace, man. The great Keith Little in the building. You know what I'm saying? Always coming through, dropping jewels, you know, helping me figure out this maze of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call him the architect, man. You know what I'm saying? Word is bond. He's the architect, and King El Bay is Morpheus. You know what I'm saying? Word is bond. You know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to, navigate our way through this matrix, man, and understanding how to, operate in and out of it. You know what I mean? Because that's a science. You know what I'm saying? The public and the private realm. You know what I mean? Understanding, you know, the matrix is like the public. You know what I'm saying? Your privacy is like your own headquarters. Because like when you're inside your home, right? You're in the privacy of your own home, right? That's your own house, the house of Lord Messiah, the house of Queen Rosina, the house of whatever your home is, whatever you know what I'm saying? The house of. So that's your privacy. That's your private. And when you step outside that door, you're now in the public. So now the reason why you want to get like things like such as international protections is so that wherever you go, when you step outside your door, you're not subject to the public, but you're protected in the public. It's kind of like going outside in the rain and you not having a raincoat or not having an umbrella, as opposed to going out in the rain and having a raincoat and having an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather be that person outside in the rain with no umbrella and no raincoat, or the person outside in the rain with the raincoat and the umbrella? So that's the science of coming into the private is so that you can protect your assets, so your assets are not stolen. I dropped this jewel on y'all again. You know what I'm saying? I was dropping the other night. You know what I mean? And I always give credit to my sources. I got this jewel from a brother from I was watching Sinetta TV one night, and the brother Divine Prospect. He was building on this topic, and he was going in on how you got crows on a straw man. You know what I'm saying? You got crows on a straw man, and the straw man represents your estate, basically. Your estate is represented by the straw man. So in that we understand that the estate, they say, if you look at the definition of real estate, it says one of the definitions is that which is attached to the earth. So we as even as people, as original people, we came from the earth, and therefore we are attached to the earth. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we come from our mother, we got that umbilical cord, you know what I'm saying, attaching us to the earth. You know what I'm saying? That man was born from the earth, and obviously we were once attached to the earth. You know what I'm saying? So and obviously we're still attached to the earth because this is why even we wear we walk barefoot because we're attaching our feet right to the earth. You know what I'm saying? When people sit and they meditate and they be all what I'm saying, like this, and they sit in the in the with their legs crossed, with their butt or spine, the root of their spine to the earth, because the root chakra is matching the earth, because it's the earth chakra, the root chakra. And they're sitting and meditating in the mind, and the mind through the crown chakra, the thoughts are the kundalini energy is rising from the earth, from the connection to the earth, rising up the spine, you know what I'm saying, through the body into the brain, and out of the brain, out of the skull, through the pineal chakra, via the pituitary gland, out into the universe. So that shows and proves that it's what's called Tai Chi. You know what I'm saying? Tai being the energy of the stellars, the solars, the stars, and Chi being the energy of the earth. So Tai Chi is a union of solar and earthly energies, showing and proving a relationship between the earth, the sun, and the earth. You know what I mean? It's a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like mind and body. The term Asiatic, like you say, term Asiatic. You know what I'm saying? Asia being the body, Attic being the upstairs, the mind, the elevating state of consciousness. You know what I mean? So we are to be one, mind and body. But going back to what we was building on tonight, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you said, we reached the hour point, so I ain't gonna go too much longer on this. But you know, oh yeah, and plus I'm gonna call my brother back too. So yeah, trying to get into that international realm, man, international recognition. And like I was gonna point out to him earlier too, I put on my doc. Yeah, he seen that concept to internationally known or to be. He helped me figure it out, fix it up too. Internationally recognized as so forth and so forth. So That's going to be the science of what it is. You know what I mean? And basically getting that international recognition. So therefore, to bring yourself into the international realm, international forum, and also we're going to take this documentation, place it on a website. You know, that's to show that we have a place of access point to all this documentation. All this documentation can be accessed. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, man. And I can do this right here. I can ascend to the throne. Like you see right here, right on the shirt, right? You see how he's sitting on the bowl? This is representing an actual ceremony as to where when he when he sat on the bowl, he became Lord. You know what I'm saying? So the bowl is representing Lord, or a symbolism of the throne for or a seat for the Lord. And when he sat on that bowl, he became Lord. As you see the sun above the head, you see, you know what I'm saying, him holding, you know what I mean, the symbols, the star. You see all the symbolism, and all these things have meanings. I ain't gonna go into breaking down all that stuff right now. That'll be a whole another segment. But anyway, this is what Lord Messiah is doing, ascending to the throne, sitting on the bowl, becoming Lord, and not even becoming because it already is. It's destined. But you know how they say in the Lord's Prayer, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." On that note, I'm gonna say peace, y'all. And tune into the next segment. You know what I'm saying? We're coming back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll get King El Bay back in the building again. You know what? I'm gonna hit up King and see. He probably sleep right now, but I'm gonna hit my brother back to see what's going on. Maybe we'll get another session. But yo, peace to the fam. See y'all next time. Peace.